Well, I just got another call from Orange Coast Dodge, from Max, who sold me the Swinger, and he said, hey, you want to come down and check out my 2023 Durango and drive it and shoot a video on it and maybe help me sell it? And I'm like, heck yeah, I do. Of course I do. Why wouldn't I want to drive that thing? I mean, it's a 710 horsepower SUV that seats 6 people and tows 8,700 pounds. I think it's 645 foot-pounds of torque. This is a beast of beasts in an SUV Durango. And this is the car, if you remember my old video, that I almost had my wife willing to buy on the first gen of the Durango Hellcat. We were ready to order it. We were going to get it MSRP before COVID, and she wanted 8 seats, but 7 she would settle for. And the Durango, you have to have the buckets in the second row, so you can't get 7 people in that thing. So I couldn't get her to go with the Durango. But this Durango, I was told, was already purchased by a guy who bought it and took it home to his wife, and I think he even ordered it, bought it, did the deal, paid for the car, took it home to his wife, and his wife said, take it back. Take it back. And this poor guy took it back. Now, I'm not going to judge anybody who would make that decision, because we all live in our own personal worlds where we have to make decisions based on a partnership with our spouse. Some of us do what we want to do and just take the heat, and some of us, our wives, sometimes in my situation the other day, tells me to go do it, like she did with this one. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it, because I'm driving this thing because she told me to get my butt back there and do the deal. And some just do what they want to do, and some end up divorced. I don't know your situation, so those of you who comment that I do whatever I want to do, good for you. And some of you are like, I respect my wife so much that I run everything by her, good for you. Some of you are like, well, if I took it home and my wife was mad at me, I would return it. Good for you. I'm not judging you, but I want to share with you all this quick story before we pull over to the dealership, and just tell you that for me, since I was a child, cars have been the thing that I love. And I've had people like my aunt years ago, who was a serious banker, financial minded person, said, Bradley, you're lacking something in your life, that you have such an obsession with cars that you're trying to fill. And you're trying to feel that you should find out what that is. And I'm like, I already found out what it is. It's the cars. I want the cars. So who cares? Why do I need to go to a therapist to find out what I'm lacking when I already know what it is? And because I make pretty incredible income and I work really, really hard, why can't I just buy the cars, avoid all the therapy, and enjoy driving something that goes vroom, vroom really, really fast and shifts with a 6-speed transmission? Why can't I just do that? So again, not judging you, don't judge me, but it's also been a measurement for me of my success, because I don't know what else to do. I mean, my success baseline foundation is my sanctity of my marriage, my incredible relationship with my wife, my amazing relationship with my daughter, and our incredible family unit. But on top of that, I'm sorry, but I need a good car. I need a cool car. I need several cool cars. So when I lost everything in 2007 and went bankrupt, and it was horrible. I mean, it was just the most painful financial disaster of my life. Lots of really bad decisions compounded with a really, really bad market, and I got creamed. Never let that happen again, but I got creamed. I had to rebuild, and I had to rebuild by buying an older used E-Class Mercedes. Now some of you are going to go, oh, is it still a Mercedes? No, it was, if you saw, I might have a picture I'll put up here, but it was a white, older used base model Mercedes. I needed something to drive to work every single day when my CL55 AMG Mercedes last repair bill came in at 10 grand, reset the check engine lights, traded in at the dealership, and bought the cheapest Mercedes they could get just to get me through that recession. And I was miserable driving that thing. It was the epitome of a housewife's car. So that thing, I hated it. Every day I got in it, it had no power, had no panache. I pulled to a stoplight. There were 5 of them surrounding me with baby seats in them. It just, as a car guy, I needed something better. And finally, I found a 645 BMW convertible that I could get for $15,000 that was perfect. And it had a convertible top and it looked amazing. I'll put a picture up, you guys can see it. And I made that deal. And that to me was like, I've got a cool looking car. It looked like it was a $100,000 car. It was my first step into coming back and recovering from what was a horrible, horrible financial beating. So I came home in that car and my wife came out and said, no, not after what we've been through. You need to take it back. Kind of like what apparently happened with this guy. You need to take it back. And I remember like it was yesterday, and you're going to criticize me horribly about this, but my wife would corroborate this. And we were maybe together for 5 years or so at this point, been through some bad stuff. And I said to her, honey, I love you. I love you so much. I look at you and I thank God every single day that I get to wake up next to you. Literally, when I was a child and a budding pubescent boy, I thought, man, one day if I can get a woman that looks like basically on paper was you, I will have arrived. Every time I talk to somebody about my wife, I tell them, I've got the hottest, most amazingly beautiful, just incredible wife. There's no one else in the world I'd ever want. Literally, if something ever happened to you, I'd probably never get married again because I could never find anybody as good as you. She's smiling from ear to ear, and she's thinking, wow, where is this coming from? I just told him to get rid of that car, take it back. And then I said to her, despite all those things and everything I just said, which I mean from the bottom of my heart, I will let you divorce me before I take that car back. I slept on the couch for 3 or 4 days and I kept that car, and it got me back on top, and I hustled. I rolled up the places feeling good in that car. It had the top down, and I mean, I'll put a picture on the screen. You guys can see this thing. This thing was great. I felt good. I was cool again, and I rebuilt every day, and I rebuilt my financial net worth, and I got myself back on top again to where things are really great now. But that showed her at that point I needed that car. So when I see this Durango, I think some poor guy maybe just didn't know that script, but I was willing to play chicken with her at that time to get the car. And if you love cars like I do, then write in the comments, I'm with you, brother. Because in the end, my wife ain't leaving me over a car. She's not. And if she is, then she didn't love me anyways. Bottom line, those of you say it's about respect. No, respect is that when I met her, I told her that she would have the option, no matter how bad things ever got, to never work again unless she wanted to. And you know what? After that baby was born, she said, I'm going to go back to work after the baby's born. And the baby is now 17 and or 16 and she's not gone back to work, but she runs our household like a top, and she's amazing. And as far as I'm concerned, she's got the best job in the world and one of the hardest in managing me and my amazing daughter and this amazing household we've got. But bottom line is, the cars are never going to go away. That was part of the deal when we met, and it's part of the deal that still exists to this day. So this car, sorry for that story and diatribe. Some of you hate it when I talk, so I'll even skip the story somewhere in here so you can do that. But just stand firm. If something makes you happy, as my daughter says and my wife says, makes your heart happy, then get it, keep it, and just work your tail off to make sure it never affects or hurts your family, and then you deserve to have it, man. So now let's go check out this Durango that is now, I believe, being sold as a used car, even though it's a 2023, which I imagine that means you might be able to get a better deal on it. I don't know, but I'll tell you, this dealership is making deals. They're aggressive on making deals. And I'll just wrap up with this before we go see the car. People comment, well, on the website it says this. When I called, they said that. Stop reading the website. Remember, they say that people with smooth brains aren't very smart. And I got to think that at some point, there's a lot of smooth brains out there, and some of them commented on my other videos. Here's the deal. If you think the website is what the price is, then you've been completely duped, and your brain is very smooth. If you think that what the guy said on the phone about the markup is the price that they're going to hold firm at, if you're sitting in front of them with a suitcase full of cash or a check from your bank or a pre-approved loan, then your brain is smooth. Because you got to know, in this economy, in this day and age, in every video I've made for the last month last 3, 4, 5 months saying the market's going to soften. It's now softened, and the dealers are doing deals, but you got to be sitting in front of them. You got to have your money ready. If you do call them, you got to say, I have my money ready. I'm ready to pull the trigger now, and then you got to pull that trigger. So if you go into that dealership like I did the other day, and you make a deal, and just so you know, I got a great deal on this Swinger. Amazing deal. Bottom line is, you got to go inside and you got to ignore everything else, all the chatter, and you got to get down and dirty with them, put your offer on the table, and be willing to walk. And I'll tell you, Max is the real deal. He won't let you walk unless he really can't do the deal. You'll at least know, okay, this guy's not just working me. If there's a deal to be done, he's going to help you get that deal done on this Durango or any of these cars at the dealership. So now let's go check this thing out. And there it is, right there, that black one. 2023 Durango Hellcat. Let's go check that thing out. Ha! What's up, man? Did you sell it yet?
I just finished the blue TRX that I told you to go take for a drive.
You sold it?
I just sold it.
Right on.
So you can't take that for a drive anymore.
But good job.
The Ghost just got picked up.
A few minutes later.
Make a deal. But dude, some of these dealers are doing $200,000 for Ghosts. So bottom line is,
And they're getting it. That's what I learned from. So I had to have gotten 50 or 60 calls from your videos from all over the country over the last few days.
oh shit, your phone's catching
My
on
phone
fire.
is blowing up. But what I've loved about it is whether it's been a real offer or not a real offer, or the car's been sold already, I've been learning what the market is on all of these from all over the country.
They're telling you, yeah.
The market on the Ghost truly is at 75 to 175
All day long.
All day long.
All
and
day
they are
long.
all getting it. So the fact that we did ours for what we did it for is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Find you in a bit.
Awesome, dude. Woo, look at the red interior on this thing. Oh, so yes, folks, this is the 2023 Durango. Wow, I might need to bring my wife to look at this thing. This is actually really nice. Look at that. Is that forged carbon? Looks like it is. Forged carbon right there. Beautiful, gorgeous screen. So this is it. So let's pull this thing up and I'll show you the outside and we'll go for a quick drive. He just sold that TRX. Look at that thing. Woo, that's incredible. I love that color. All right, folks, this is the 2023 Hellcat Durango, 710 horsepower, like 645 pounds of torque, will tow 8,700 pounds in diamond black. This black is gorgeous. Look at the metal fleck. This isn't just the regular black. Look at that little metal sparkle in there. Usually I hate that, but in this thing it actually came out really, really nice. 20-inch wheels on it, those big Brembo brakes. The sticker on this thing is $120,995. So give Max a call and roll in the dirt with him. I mean, it's technically used because of the story I told you, but it's only got 38 miles on it. So let's walk around this thing and take a look at it. Obviously, it looks like any other Durango, except it's got the Hellcat badges on it. Wow. I gotta talk to my wife about this thing. This is nuts. What a beautiful, beautiful car. Now check this thing out on the inside. This has the red interior with the forged carbon fiber accents here, a big screen, red seats, red and black seats, actually two-toned. It's got the sunroof. This thing is gorgeous. Let's check out the back. So my wife's problem is this right here. So it's got two bucket seats. These look awesome, but they're not practical. She wants where she can sit 3 people in the back, but if you don't need that, this is pretty incredible. And of course, forged carbon here. I mean, this is a great spec this guy ordered. Can't believe he didn't go through with it. And in the back, you've got 2 more seats, taking this thing to a solid 6-seater SUV. And we'll pop the back and see how much room we've got back there for all of your groceries when you're doing 120 miles an hour to the grocery store, or 0 to 60 in like under 4 seconds, I'm sure. back. So plenty of room for storage. Hopefully they never put that front license plate on. And I think that's what I like about this dealership too. They didn't do that with mine either. And a little bit more storage right here. And then the jack, looks like a jack right there. So you've got some room. You fold these things forward, just like, whoops, that. Boom, they go forward. I'm not going to do that to them. But bottom line is a typical SUV, but just not typical engine. You've got some power ports back here. And what a awesome car. Only Dodge would do an SUV like this. This is pretty great. All right, now let's jump in and go for a drive. And I've never driven a Durango in my life, and I certainly have never driven a Durango Hellcat. This thing has the Harman Kardon stereo, which I do believe is one of the best factory stereos that comes in any factory car, but it's a lot of money. It's a couple $1,000s for that. But now let's go for a drive. This is what I drove down here for. Other than getting you guys a video, I want to drive a Hellcat Durango. A big, huge SUV with 710 horsepower. It's pretty crazy. If you want this thing, give Max a call. Unless I get my wife down here this weekend to test drive it and talk her into trading in the Land Rover. Honey, if you're watching this, just go with the flow. Go with the program. It's going to be okay. We don't need to carry as many people around. It's going to be fine. People can sit on each other's laps. This is 710 horsepower. I'll increase your limit on the gas card. Everything will be okay. All right, let's go. All right, so the audio is going to be a little different here, but this is the camera I've got that sticks to the window, so we're going to be using this guy. All right, let's let everybody get in front of me and see what it does. Oh my God. Wow, this thing is a beast. This is a beast. All right, so it definitely feels big and a little bit lumbering as far as the suspension and the handling. I mean, it's definitely nothing like, you know, a Charger or a Challenger. You feel it. You feel the weight of this thing, but it's not horrible. But it's not super tight. But for an SUV, I think it's just right. You feel like you can swing this thing around a little bit and toss it around. It's not going to get away from you. All right, one more pull when we get out here. We'll get this thing safely back at the dealership so I don't end up having to buy it. Oh, you can hear it. You can feel the tires wanting to break loose. You can feel the tires wanting to break loose. All right, so Max just jumped in and said, hey, you want to go with me for a ride? And I didn't let him finish the sentence, and I was like, let's go. And so I don't know where we're going or what we're doing, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to take this Hellcat Durango and we're going to do some swinging, some donuts. Oh, door's open. I think, is it yours or mine?
That's me.
All right.
There we go.
All right.
Let's see what this thing does.
Dude, oh! Oh my God.
There's something about a supercharger that puts a smile on your face.
And the sound that...
We're just swinging right up here.
Freaking insane. Man. I love this color though. I like, this isn't just the normal black. This is like...
No, this is the special black with the extra fleck to it, which is pretty rad.
Yeah.
Let's go custom setup. So I love the custom setup feature on this because basically, if you put it into sport, it puts everything in sport, including the traction control and stability control, which essentially means you're turning off all of your safety shit. Yeah. So what I like to do is go put everything into track as long as we're having fun with it, while keeping stability in sport, because that gives you the sports tune or the track tune suspension, steering, all-wheel drive system, paddles, and transmission, while making it so that you don't bring this car back and put it into my service drive within the first 5 minutes of owning it.
That's what I thought when I was around the corner, and I jumped on. I'm like, oh man, I'm not ready to buy this thing today.
Yep. So this will keep you on the ground while still giving you all the fun that you could possibly have.
That's good to know.
Thing about why the all-wheel drive system actually has its own setting differential, because the difference between all-wheel drive in track versus all-wheel drive in street is night and day.
Yeah.
Because it'll put the power where it needs to be, and that's the beauty of an all-wheel drive system. I mean, of course, you've got your usual line lock, race modes, shift lights, all that, along with your performance pages. Which, I mean, and the funny thing is I've watched a couple of videos where they actually took the car's internal dyno and measured it against a car on an actual dyno, and it's pretty damn close.
Oh yeah?
Which is impressive.
Well, that's really impressive.
392, signing on the line tonight. My approval's in there. No more Grand Cherokee.
Oh, dude. Oh, man. Oh, God. Are you scared yet?
No. This thing is ridiculous.
Oh, Jesus.
This thing is ridiculous.
We're in a freaking SUV, dude.
This is the way to do it.
Oh, my God.
Think about it. The only other way to go this fast in a functionally sized SUV, besides the Trackhawk, I'm just talking
Yeah.
a car that you could buy today. What can you buy? You can buy an X5 M competition.
Yeah, for fat money.
Close to 200 with what they're going for right now.
And check engine lights non-stop.
Yep. Plus cost of repairs on that thing are through the roof. You could do a Urus, which basically
Audi.
what else goes this fast in an SUV? I mean, not a whole lot.
No.
I mean, you've got the supercar trucks, but those don't count. They're just so absurdly expensive.
Yeah, this is incredible. So with that, everybody, please like, subscribe, comment if you like this video. Be respectful. Some of you just can't help yourself. So just be respectful and let me know if you want more videos like this. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.